at a, a really interesting point in the consumer world, in retail, where a lot of consumers are feeling uncertain. There's general macroeconomic uncertainty. Tariffs are certainly disrupting firms' attempt to make any accurate predictions of what sales are going to look like later this year. And I'm wondering if you think that in these, and I don't think I'm being hyperbolic when I say unprecedented times, is there a way that forecasting can actually really help? Is there something that like a firm can turn to and say, yeah, we actually believe that we can model out a couple of scenarios here?
Absolutely, absolutely, and you're right, Brian. We are, dare I say, in unprecedented times, right? When it comes to the macroeconomic uncertainty, the volatility, you got geopolitics and wars disrupting supply chain flows. You have companies needing to find new sources of raw materials or products. So the supply chain itself and the flow of goods is constantly changing, and it's probably changing more rapidly than it has in many, many years. And so forecasting and demand planning are really it's that very initial capability in supply chain planning and execution where a company can really get a ton of value from getting better forecast accuracy. Obviously, we work with a lot of commercial systems, and we obviously work with a lot of our clients, as you know, Brian, helping them select forecasting tools and supply chain planning tools and so forth. And the way that today's technology really helps to improve that accuracy is through the embedding of AI and ML. And I know it's a buzzword. Everybody says AI. Everybody uses those terms. But what does AI in forecasting mean? What does it start to do? And it does some really interesting things. So first, back when I was a merchant, I would go and do statistical forecasting. I would select one of my models and apply it to my entire category and hope for the best, and probably end up with a pretty bad forecast accuracy. Today, with AI and ML based tools, you can automatically have the system pick the best forecasting model or method to the SKU level. And it will automatically continue to refresh itself and make sure that it's selecting the best method based on that statistical history. But it doesn't stop there, obviously. Where AI and ML and advanced forecasting tools really add value is adding both the internal and external drivers into your forecast. So you may have, obviously, everyone starts with statistical forecasting, but looking forward, what happens when I start dropping promotions? What happens when there are certain events that are going to have a direct impact on my product category, or weather patterns, right? So now we're talking about demand sensing, and that starts to get infused. And now your forward-looking forecast is that much better than just simply the statistical forecast that we had back in the day. And then also things like just automatic rolling of horizon. The horizon updates are automatic. The reforecasting is automatic. You get all sorts of confidence scoring and forecasting accuracy feedback. So the knowledge that you have, the tools that you have now as a planner, as a merchant, are much, much greater, that allow you to really let the system do its thing, and you can focus on other things.